The following portion of Bloom is sponsored by Central Florida Behavioral Health Network and the Department of Children and Families.
Welcome back to Bloom. When dealing with a crisis or mental health challenges, it's important to recognize where to reach out to get the help you need when you need it the most. Here with more is the President and CEO of Central Florida Behavioral Health Network, Alan Davidson, and from the Mobile Crisis Response Team at Eleos is therapist Chloe Gaitman and Supervisor Makayla Bay. Welcome to Bloom. Thank you guys for being here.
Thanks for having us.
So Alan, let's start with you. I know CFBHN is a managing entity. What exactly does that mean?
Sure, we're a managing entity. We're one of 7 in the state, largest in population, second largest in landmass. We're the funder of behavioral health services for the Suncoast area. So we fund from Pasco County down to Collier, over into Hendry and Glades, and up into Polk, Collins, and Hardy. We fund a variety of services from crisis care to detox to outpatient and even care coordination. And one of the providers we've long partnered with is Eleos and their mobile response team.
And Chloe, your mobile response team is ready to jump into action even when somebody is actively under the influence of substances, right?
Yes, 24 hours, 7 days a week. We have mental health professionals that are always ready to go on the ground and assess when needed. So we meet clients wherever they are at, whether that's home, in the community, wherever they may be. They have our line to call, and if the client is under the influence, we want to assess for safety as our #1 priority. If they can assess in decision making, we want to make sure that they're referred to the appropriate outpatient or detox or crisis stabilization. If they are not safe and at harm to themselves or maybe other people, we want to possibly initiate involuntary examination under a Baker Act or a Marchman Act.
Yeah, Makayla, let's talk about that a little bit more, because you have to make kind of quick decision when it comes to inpatient care versus a community-based approach, right?
Right, so when we get out there, we want to assess whether the substance use is the main driver in the crisis that they're experiencing. If it is, then an inpatient psychiatric examination may not be the best route to take with them, as a lot of times the hospitals discharge them once they're sober. Instead, we assess the client's needs and see where they're at. Depending on what that is, we'll refer to detox services, intensive outpatient services, or medication-assisted treatment.
Okay, and Chloe, having this kind of collaboration and working together must be so great.
Absolutely. It's happy to see when we're able to follow up with clients, whether that's on an everyday basis or every other day, and see the outcome from our connection of services.
Yeah, and Alan, a lot of times because you work with so many agencies like this, people don't fall through the cracks, and I think that's the problem with approaches of the past. But you're working with a different blueprint and game plan.
Absolutely. We have at least 5 or 6 providers over in Pinellas County that partner with Eleos for services just for that fact. They don't fall through the cracks. They can get the services they need, the right time, the right place. And again, like you said, just don't fall through the cracks.
And the fact that people are going on location to help people, that is like what makes it so helpful.
No, a lot of times people, they don't want to go for help, and unfortunately when they don't go for help, they experience it where they're at. And to have a service like the mobile response team to go out to that person, whether it's their home, their work, maybe babysitter, wherever they're at, they can be like, okay, PIMS, Eleos is going to come to where I'm at.
Well, this is incredible, and I really appreciate all of you coming on Bloom to explain it to our viewers.
Yes, thank you for having us. Thank you so much.
For more information, visit hopeforsuncoast.org and eleoswellness.org/get-help. Bloom will be right back.
The preceding portion of Bloom was sponsored by Central Florida Behavioral Health Network and the Department of Children and Families.